Okay, so this is a video tutorial on how to create a CDA or a green sheet. First, you have to make sure that all major tools are pulled up, like the KW dashboard or EDge, this one. The tool for checking documents, which is .loop, and you should have your notepad ready. First, you have to deal with .loop. Launch .loop and open and search for the CDA. So today we are going to create a CDA for 707 Premier Place. That means you have to go to .loop, pull up the loop, and find the CDA. Now, if CDA is available, what you can do is to download that CDA and email it to the title company. However, if it's not available, then that means you have to create a CDA for that listing. First that you have to do is to submit the folders for review. So all you need to do is to put a tick mark on the folders and hit on submit. And once you hit on submit, it will give you a confirmation. So for this one, all you need to do is to put a tick mark. Actually, I already submitted it earlier, but for the sake of this video, let me show you how it looks like. So put a tick mark. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, and then hit on submit. Okay, so there you go. Do you see that yellow line at the top? Folders has been submitted for review. That means everything is good there. What you can do now is go to EDge to create the CDA. So here's EDge. Let me go back to the main screen just to show you how to get there. So here's the main screen of EDge. From EDge main screen, click on Technology, and then you will see a drop-down menu. Choose Greensheet. Click on Greensheet, and then you will have another screen. It should not be like this. So let me try it again. So here, Greensheet. Okay, so now we're ready to create a green sheet. Click on here to create a new green sheet. For the drop down, the default would be no, I am not, and it is not. So for the question, are you the listing agent? Hit on no, I am not. Is this a KW listing? Hit on it is not. No, it is not. Then now you are ready to fill out the form. But before you fill out this form, or before you even get there in creating a CDA, make sure that you save all the important details on a notepad. The reason why, because it is better to have it saved elsewhere, like a notepad. That way it will be easier for you to fill out the form. And it will be easy for you to finish the form. It will take some time if you go back and forth checking .loop for the information. In this case, I have all the information ready, and all I need to do is to put it in the CDA form. So the first question is title company email. So what is the email address of the title company? That can normally be found on your email itself, especially if you are receiving emails from the title company. Or you can also find it in Top Producer. So in that case, let me pull up Top Producer to show you where exactly are we going to find the information. Hold on. Okay, it's now pulling up. Okay, so we need to access the listing. Just go to listings and closings, then click on closing summary. Under closing summary, try to find 707 Premier Place. Click on it and go to closing parties. When you click on closing parties, you will see all the important people involved in this transaction. So in that case, we're trying to find title company, right? So we want to click on escrow officer. For this specific example, in 707 Premier Place, the escrow officer is Suzanne Johnston. And we want to get her email address and put it in that CDA. So I'm copying it now. Then I want to go back to the e-edge or to the CDA form. Paste it there. Greensheet types, it's always residential. And then contract date, always check the contract. What date was it executed? In this case, I have it ready right here. So the contract date or the executed date is May 3rd. Then for the closing date, it is June 3rd. Make sure to always check amendments because there are times that the closing date is different, especially if there's an amendment to extend the closing date. But if there's none, then the closing date will stay as is. By the way, before we proceed, for the green sheet or on how to fill out green sheet, only fill out those with asterisk. You are not required to complete all drop downs. Okay, now we can proceed for the type of green sheet or property. It is buyer sale, always buyer sale, and for class it's property. Property type, this is resale. This is the most common. Sometimes it changes, so you have to make sure to change or to check the contract and see what type of property type or what type of property is it. Then for the address, we have to put the address here, so I have it ready. So it's 707 and then Premier Place. City would be Grapevine. State is Texas. Alright. For zip code, let's check the zip code. We want to go back to the notepad. It's 76050. 51 rather. 76051. County, that's Tarrant. Okay, so I think this is complete. We can go on to the next section, which is price, commission, earnest money. Earnest escrow money held by, we want to check what is the escrow company. So we want to go back to top producer and check what company Suzanne Johnston or the escrow officer is working for, and then we want to fill it out there. So in this case, looks like it's requiring us to log in again, so we want to go back and log in. Or we'd rather use the other here. Okay, so we got it. So click on the escrow officer. It says here Texas Premier Title. So that's the information that we have to put in that CDA. So let's go back. Okay, and then paste. For the sale price, let's check our notepad. So that's 323. Percentage 3%. Okay, that's complete. Let's check that loop. Let's check the contract real quick. This is the contract. So if you miss anything, all you gotta do is to pull up the contract in dot loop and try to check the information there. In this case, we want to know how much did they pay for the earnest money. Because if you notice, it's not really indicated here in our notepad. So maybe this is also to highlight how important it is to put everything in the notepad for you to save time in creating the green sheet. It should be at the latter part. Or could be at the start of this contract as well. Let's check. Takes a bit longer. Alright, hold on. Okay, so we're at the beginning of the contract. Then it should show here the earnest money to be paid. It's 6,000. So I want to put 6,000 in the green sheet itself. So let's go back to the green sheet. And then under amount, it should be 6,000. And then click on next. Buyer's name is Morgan Henderson. Okay, and then hit on next section. And then for the seller, it's Michael Fitzhugh. We want to go ahead and go back and check whether this information is correct, because sometimes we misspell it, so we have to make sure to check if we have the right spelling. So if it's Fitzhugh, okay, looks like we have the right spelling anyway. Now hit on next, and we're ready to deal with the agent detail. So since this is a buyer sale, it is important to know that it's not just Marcus dealing with this, but he's taking care of it with another agent, which her name is Sydney Creech. So in creating a green sheet, it is important to fill out Agent B, Agent A, and Agent B. Let's start with Marcus for Agent A. So Marcus is the name of the agent. Agent role is individual agent. Type would be buyer sale. Agency would be buyer. Sales unit, it is usually 1, but since Marcus is working with Sydney, Marcus would be 0.75 for the sales unit. And then later for Sydney, it will be 0.25. For the commission split, Marcus is 100. Cap on royalty, Marcus would be a yes. Charity would be 0. All zeros for all charities. So that's the one highlighted in pink on the green sheet. Now let's move on to Sydney Creech. Notice that this is blank. You can go ahead and click on the search icon at the top. It's actually at the bottom of Agent B. Now we can search via last name. So we want to put Sydney's last name. That's CREECH. Then click on search. Highlight the name of the agent. Then hit on select. It's almost the same as how we filled out Marcus info. For agent role, also individual agent. For type, it is also buyer sale. For agency, still the same. That's going to be buyer. Again, for the sales unit, it's total as 1. So if Marcus is having 0.75, then the other 0.25 would go to Sydney. And for the agent commission split, Sydney would be 70. For cap on royalty, for Sydney, it's a no. Charities will be all zeros as well. You don't need to fill out everything, just those important details. Then you want to scroll down and hit on next section. So this time under co-borrower, all we need to do is to answer the questions below. We don't really need to fill out anything under this section. So for the question, have you spoken to a co-agent about the benefits of a career at KW? That would be a no. And then for would this agent be a good fit for KW? Then that would be a yes. And just go ahead and hit on next section. Okay. So for the next section, we only fill this out if there's a home warranty. In this case, for 707 Premier Place, there's no warranty. So we can just leave it blank and proceed to the next section. Now we can hit on next section. And if you don't have any notes to add, you can go ahead and submit the form. So just hit on submit to MCA. If there's any problems after you submit Greensheet, it should show you an error message. But if there's none, then there you go. It goes to submitted. So we are able to submit the Greensheet. It's now complete. Again, just make sure you have all the important details ready. That way it will be easier for you to fill out the form. That's basically it. Next time they pull it up, or the following day, pull up your dot loop and CDA should be there and it should be ready to be submitted to the title company. If you have any questions, just go ahead and email us. Thank you.